Contracting in coaching is vitally important. I'm not going to launch into a speech about that. I'm going to go through the typical way in which I go about my own contracting on an overall basis. So it's in three parts. I'm going to try and get clever here by pulling up the first part straight away. So it's headed with the client, a coaching contract. Here it says, to get the most from our coaching activity, we must clarify key issues before we start. This three-part process provides a clear pathway for our work together. Forgive me reading this out, it helps me. So part one is the from you to me. This is fundamentally important to me because how do we know what the client's expectations are of the process and of ourselves if we don't ask them? So the first question is, what do you want to achieve from the coaching? Next, what specifically do you expect from me? I pumped the text up for this. They aren't this big, it runs to one side and then expands as they're filled in. So just to remind you, the first part is from you to me. What do you want to get from this? What do you want to achieve from the coaching? And then what do you expect from me? And those expectations are going to be interesting. They may confirm what you'd already thought, maybe by discussions with the client before, but there may be some things there that are new. I expect you to tell me things because I don't know how to do my job. I expect you to plot a way to bring my boss down, all the things we shouldn't do and are unethical. That's extreme. But again, we won't know what people's expectations are unless we ask. So here we go. I'm going to keep pulling these up. So this is all part one. This is before we start the interchange. The next issue is, what don't you want from me? Now, I think that's important. I'll put it this way. What don't you want from me? A good client, in terms of one that's thought about the process, will have said, I don't want you to tell me everything. I don't want you to keep interrupting me. I don't want you to keep telling me stories about yourself. I don't want you to lead the process. It's all about me. That's what I want to get from this. It doesn't always happen. So what don't you want from me? This isn't complicated. There aren't too many of these. What can I expect from you is next. I think that's important. It challenges the client to say, are you going to lead this process? Are you up for that? Are you going to, maybe not instantly, but over a shortish period of time, take the lead in your own development and other things as well? Am I expecting you, what can I expect from you in terms of, are you going to put this ahead of certain things which you might otherwise treat as a priority? Are you going to engage in this positively? Are you looking for outcomes which require a bit of work? Those sorts of things. It really gives a strong platform to raise these issues and keep it going. I'll just hide that one away for now. What else would it help to raise at this stage? Well, that I'm very busy, that I discover that people are just about to have a new family member. You might discover there's domestic circumstances to take into account. There could be all manner of things that it helps to know contextually before you get going with the client. These for me are so obvious in a sense. So anyway, what was I hiding away here? The next one is from me to you. So let's have a look at this, from me to you. So that all came from the client. Then once I get that, I look at what I've had. It's in written form. And I look at it and I think, well, okay, do I need to find out a bit more here? Do I need to ask a bit more about what this means to the client? Do I really understand this? Is there something else here that I think we need to explore? In other words, I won't just accept what someone sends me. I will look at it and come back to them. It's very rare that I find a need not to on first receipt and say, okay, give me a bit more on this typically. And then part three, we agree and sign off. Now, as I say here, we may need to clarify one or more issues. Once this is done, we can make a start. So what that means is, although I may have received responses and I may have said, well, what do you mean by this? And I may have got something back. This process could to and fro quite a number of times before you get to sign off. Could be 5 or 6 times. But I think the number of times isn't important. The thoroughness of the process is important. And if we engage with a client before we've thoroughly understood what their expectations are from us, what they want and don't want from us, what their context is, then I don't think we can meaningfully engage with them in a way that truly benefits them. So that's a very quick overview. I can do this in more detail another time. I'm very happy to talk it through or discuss further with anyone who comes back to me. So as ever, I hope that helps. And well, like I say, the offer is genuine. Contact me if you feel I can help further.